In a world where extreme competition exists everywhere, what does it take to have success in your career and in life? Join me, Nirvana Chaudhary, as I sit down with some of the most successful individuals to discover the secrets to their success, what continues to drive them, and to hear a few exclusive stories in the process. What drives them and their success code, their mantra for making it bigger. Hello everyone, this is Nirvana Chaudhary, once again back with my podcast Making It Bigger. Today, I have with me an individual who sits in the helm of one of the most successful conglomerates in Nepal. Someone who at a very, very young age finished his education from Australia, came back to Nepal in probably one of the most toughest time and put his organization into a completely fast track. I have with me today Mr. Ujjwal Shrestha. Ujjwal, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Nirvan. It's lovely to be here.
So Ujjwal, you've been in the helm of your organization, Panchaganya Group, for over 14 years now. You started this journey at a very, very early age, and you've been an integral part for its transformation and the growth that we see today. What is it that really drives you, and what would you attribute to your success mantra?
When I joined Panchaganya 14 years back, one thing that I noticed in the company was the culture of family. And I could see that we had employees for 20, 25 years, 30 years working, and we had second generation also joining. And that is something that I always took pride of, And today, what I see is the one thing that really keeps me ahead for my company, and the way I see it forward for tomorrow is working towards a culture that inculcates trust and Nepali value of afnopan. And that's what I see in our community and our employees. And that is one thing that I always look forward to, and I always work with my entire team in Panchaganya and taking challenges and improving things and coming up with new stuff for the industry so we can make a benchmark. And just working together, just the whole family-ness has been one of the strongest driving factor for me personally, and I feel that has worked so far very well for us. And along this line, what I see is the success factor that I have learned, or rather than something that has worked for me, we're working with my senior employees and my employees as we grow as a company, is to appreciate and encourage everyone that plays a part as a team in the company, and being able to communicate well in an organization. And I've communicated many times to a person, or I have been communicated many times to myself about getting the message clearly and what we want and what does the country need. And also, leading by example. I've always taken challenges, not passed it down, but rather work as a team. And that has really proven a good track record for things to move ahead, things to work for us. And also, one thing I'm currently really working and improving myself is to listen and to respond rather than react.
Fantastic. Leading by example, a feeling of belongingness, communicating to your team members, and having a purpose of bringing in everyone with a sense of ownership. I think these are some amazing traits all successful leaders have. So Ujjwal, when you were coming back from Australia, obviously the opportunities in Nepal were not as lucrative or as advantageous. Why did you still decide to come back to Nepal? You could have still continued your dreams in Australia or gone to any part of the world. What really got you back to Nepal?
To me, Nepal was, always my ultimate goal to come back after my college, no matter what. I did work in the US. Then after that, I went to Australia for my master's. But when I came back, I always look forward to coming back because I grew up in my factory in Bhairava. during winter holidays. I used to spend my time there. I used to be with my staffs, my factory production guys, and I used to see the entire process developing by my fathers, my uncles, my granddad, what they had established. And seeing the factory environment was something that I grew up, and I always look forward to making sure that we grow and we be one of the company that always stands out. And that was always been my dream. Whenever I come back to Nepal after my education, I always thought that coming back was always the right thing for me to do. And when I did come back, of course, it's nothing over there is as you want. There was a lot of challenges. There was a lot of frustration when I came back. And I remember the first year also, I felt like I don't think so I can work in a culture like this. But then, it was my duty to also change for the better. It was my duty to take up challenges and understand the working culture of Nepal and make the right change for our culture, what fits for a Nepali culture, And that eventually started to evolve and work for us. And I've been very happy to be back and identify opportunities. Opportunities are always there. For me, at the first 5 years was all about establishing myself, understanding the business, understanding the products of my own, and being able to manage it as a manager. The opportunities were always there, and of course, as we go along, we got to see a lot of things, and we diversified accordingly.
Great, Ujjwal. Your lovely wife is also a successful hotelier. You have your own stream of business. You have a lovely daughter. Would you want her to get into your footsteps or your wife's footsteps, or how do you see that generation coming about?
Well, I think when you mentioned wife, Pam has been one of my biggest blessing. You need such a strong partner in your life in terms of getting some confusion in your life. You can always pour down or share. And she's been one of the most instrumental person because of her clarity to thoughts and helping me filter out things, understand certain confusion that I have. And she's been such a supportive spouse and a person that I always look forward to talking to, consulting to, sometimes just brainstorming, something like that. More than a spouse, she's more of a friend and a partner that has helped me grow in the last about 7 years we've been married. We have a daughter. She's about almost 4.5 years old, and I feel very happy that when we ask her a question that where do you want to work, do you want to be in the hotel or the Panchakanya group, and she says I want to work for Panchakanya group, and I already see that that I want to make sure she understands what I do today. And in the last 4.5 years, she's been to the factory every 2-3 times a year. And nowadays she loves Bhairava trips and she loves the factory environment. And I hope that's where my personal dream is. She will be part of the business tomorrow, but times are changing. Children will have their own choices and their own planning of their future. I don't know what the future holds for her, but I'm proud already that she says to me today that I want to work for Panchakanya Group.
Wow, that's fantastic. Already grooming the succession in your company, but moreover, leading by example. I'm just amazed, Ujjwal, to see the entire work-life balance that you have. Thank you so much for sharing your views with me today in the show. I'm absolutely delighted to have you as a friend, as a brother, and as someone I look up to, making a difference in people's lives, making a difference in our own country's lives. You're really leading by example, and thank you so much for sharing your story, for making it bigger.